You are listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, presented by Richard A. Boxall, in which I chronicle my life and attempts to become a professional writer by, doing some writing daily, hopefully. Hello, it's Saturday the 18th of May and welcome to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer. I thought I'd talk to you a little bit today about social media and how bad I am with it. So there are various different potential outlets, for me to make my message felt, and I'm not very good at using any of them. So the first one that I use quite a lot is Twitch. That's the one it's one of the easiest things to do. You literally turn on the computer, change the name of the show you're about to do, which takes all of 2 seconds, and then press stream. I tend to give myself a 6-minute countdown so that people who want to watch it, they get about 6 minutes notice before it actually starts, and that's pretty easy actually. It's the one I do the most. The second thing I try and use is my blog, which is Richard. I can't even remember what blog's called, isn't it? I think it's Richard A. Boxall Writes. Let me just see. It's richardaboxallwrites.wordpress.com. And this I try to update once a week, but I'm spectacularly bad at it. During the pandemic, I did actually get to a point where I was doing two entries a week, a Tuesday and a Friday. I now try and do one on a Friday, but I've just realised today is Saturday and I haven't done one this week, so that might be something I do in a minute actually once I've recorded this, or maybe I won't. We'll see how it goes. I don't get a huge amount of engagement on it, but it's there and it's a useful index because, when I'm in a position to plan my Twitch streams, there's a Twitch diary appears automatically on there. Technology's got so good now, I've just set up a Google Calendar and literally all I have to do is create an entry on my phone for a live stream. As long as it's saved to the correct Google Calendar, that will then automatically appear on my website, so that's pretty cool. I try to write something every week, and as I say, I have failed. The other social media I use is, I try and use all of them really, but to various degrees of success. So I use Instagram a lot in my real life. I used to use Facebook, and now I've moved across to Instagram, and I think I don't know why, but I just find Instagram, because it's about pictures, is more interesting to me as a human being. And I actually have two accounts. I have my writing account, which is Richard A.B. Writes. I should have probably researched this before I started recording. Hang on. So I've got two accounts. The one that I use for my personal life as cabin crew, and Richard.A.B.Writes, which is my writing blog. And I'll be honest, with my writing Instagram, what I tend to put in that is just, it tends to synchronise with my updates for my website, and I try to do stories to introduce the fact that I'm going live on Twitch, but I'm not very good at it. I did it a couple of times recently, but I need to get back into the habit of doing that. But I do like Instagram, although obviously when you're writing, it's not such a good medium. When I travel, it's great because I can take all these wonderful pictures of places I've been. When I'm writing, it tends to be a picture of either my laptop or where I'm writing, or just sometimes just a picture of the finished article just before I publish it. So that's not very clever. But I do like Instagram. I love the pictures, and I love some of the communities on there. I do have, and also my Instagram writes automatically to my Facebook account, which is, I suspect, is called Richard A. Boxall. Proper preparation and planning. Yeah, so it's called Richard A. Boxall, and they talk to each other. So when I put an article onto Instagram, it automatically appears on Facebook on my Richard A. Boxall. And again, I have a personal account which is under my real name, and I have the writing account under my writing name, my writing pseudonym, Richard A. Boxall. And obviously I've got friends in my real life that know I'm trying to write, and I do often share the writing stuff from the Richard A. Boxall page on my personal page. And people most of my followers on the Richard A. Boxall page are people that know me, but actually that now I'm doing better on Instagram. Doing more on Twitch. I tend to see more people coming in, which is nice. I do use Twitter, but since it became X, useful things like whenever I posted, it used to automatically on Twitter automatically used to let. Sorry, when I posted on WordPress, it automatically used to let Twitter know. That doesn't happen anymore, so I literally have to copy and paste it. I use Threads as well, but I get virtually no interest on that. So those are the main social medias that I use. I also have a Discord server, but again, I don't really push it. The one thing I like about the Discord server is that it enables you to have a live voice channel. And when I remember, when I'm Twitch streaming, I leave a voice channel open that anybody can drop into. So in theory, anybody watching me live streaming on Twitch can drop in for a conversation. Although again, I've never had that many people watching me in one go, so that hasn't happened yet, unless I've specifically asked someone. So I've asked my friend Tani to come in and have a chat with me, and she's done that. But that's been more by arrangement than because somebody's just dropped in. But one day, someone will, and that's not, denigrating that at all. It's been great that she's been willing to do it, but it'd be really interesting if one day somebody who I don't know just drops in for a conversation. So hey, it could be you. Next time I'm on a live stream, as long as I remember to turn on the Discord server, that'll be there. So let me just check that I have covered off all of my main social media. So I've talked about Discord, I've talked about Twitch, I've talked about Twitter X, I've talked about Instagram, I've talked about Facebook, and I've talked about Threads, and I think, and obviously my blog, my website. So I think that's all of them, but I need to get better at actually updating them regularly. So for example, have I even done, I think I have done an article about this podcast on my website, but this has kind of become my way of regularly talking to people because it's so easy to do. I mean, I literally record it on a piece of software called Preparation Planning, what was it called? Audacity. And literally, as soon as I finish recording, I top and tail it, just to make sure there isn't any unnecessary space at the beginning and end of the file, save it as an MP3, upload it to Spotify for podcasters, and then the rest I literally do on my phone. You've probably, if you watch me on Twitch, you've seen me do it. I can literally add opening and closing titles on the app on my phone and some background music, and it takes minutes. So I'm recording this podcast at 6:50 a.m. on Saturday the 18th of May. It will be up by 7 o'clock. It will probably be up by 5 to 7. Anyway, those are my social media. Oh, and I've got YouTube. I have a YouTube channel as well, which tends to only have... So I'm keeping that as a bit of an archive. So what I do is when I finished a Twitch stream, I upload the Twitch stream to YouTube. But I don't tend to make it available for people to watch, because my theory is one day, if I'm ever published, I can literally drop a playlist of the entire writing process of the book. I mean, just to give the idea, so you realise how long it is, it takes hours and hours and hours and days. But yeah, my plan is, if I ever do publish anything, whether I self-publish it or traditionally publish it, depending on what happens, one day I will, once the work is out there, I will eventually drop a playlist onto YouTube of the entire writing process, or the majority of the writing process, for people to just watch if they're mad enough to want to. So that's my social media. I don't use it as much as I should. I literally should go on. There's a Discord server called the Twitch Writers Network, and you can literally go on and tell people when you're going on doing a live stream on there. I should do that more often than I do. I should literally do a little Instagram live, not Instagram live, but a little Instagram story every time I go online. I don't. There's so much more I can do, and I think one of the things I'm now going to do as a result of this is try and look at daily what I can do when I stream, just to publicise it a little more, because I've got a decent number of followers, and I've got some wonderful what's the word for it? Some regulars, people who always drop into my streams. But it probably could be more if I did some work. So anyway, I'll stop talking now. That's my social media. Take care. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye. You have been listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, presented by Richard A. Boxall. Thank you for tuning in to my random ramblings, and if you'd like to know more about me or my projects, visit my link tree at linktr.ee/Richard Wright, capital R, capital W. Thank you for listening.